Hello, beautiful viewers. Dom South through the cosmos. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the packaging. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, and subsequently extract the item from the packaging so that I can render it transparent in order for you to feast your eyes on. I'm going to flaunt it in front of the camera. I need to render an aperture in the box. Or I can alternatively utilize this nifty pair of scissors to sever the seal that holds the packaging together. Let's see if I can do this without ravaging the contents of the packaging. The objective has been completed. Inside the packaging is a box. The integrity of the box has yet to be compromised. Who would have anticipated a box inside the packaging? Gaze into the aesthetics of this glorious box. I'm done embellishing the box. Let's just open the box. This process is going to be savage. It's going to be brutal. I'm just exaggerating. I'm embellishing this video. I need to gingerly remove the item from the box. I did not want it to become decimated. Alrighty. The box is not devoid of its contents. It can be consigned to the trash. It can be relegated to the trash. Inside this flat rate envelope is an action figure force. I believe that this figurine is known by the moniker of the Uruk-hai crossbowman. Shall I verify that? Bear with me one brief moment. Let me go to my purchase and history on eBay. I procured him via eBay for under $9. Do I have any qualms about my purchase and decision? So far I do not. In hindsight, would I purchase another one if I could stumble upon it for $9 or less? I likely would have. Alright, he's derived from the Lord of the Rings action figure line. He stands roughly 8 inches tall. He's a crossbowman. He's an Uruk-hai crossbowman. He was produced by Toy Biz amid the early 2000s. I believe he was released in 2003. Toy Biz is now defunct. They filed for bankruptcy. They no longer exist. They've desisted from continuing their operations. He lacks any of his corresponding accessories. His joints are stiff. He lacks finger joint articulation. He lacks a diaphragm joint. He lacks an ankle pivot. His knees are not double jointed. He doesn't seem to have a ratchet in his knees. Does he have a disjoint in his head? I do not believe so. His head could rotate right and left. He can swivel his wrists. He has a joint in his elbows. He has an aperture in his hand. Is likely utilized to mount his crossbow. There's a peg hole for a peg. He can flex his right arm sideways by utilizing this button in the back. There's no quiver on his back. I'm unsure if this is deemed a quiver for the belt. I'm not well acclimated with terminology in the context of crossbows. Perhaps this is considered a quiver for the belt buckle, but who knows? Maybe in the future I'll discover if I was correct or not. But it's non-pragmatic information, so there's no reason why I need to assimilate that knowledge. He looks like he's ready to charge into the fray of battle and trounce anyone within his path. It's unfortunate that he lacks any of his armaments. His armor is unremovable. You can see his ball joints. They're not inconspicuous, which is unfortunate. This figurine has some wear. He has depreciated. Other than minor scuffs and minute scratches, he seems to be relatively unscathed. I would have preferred if his head could ascend or descend, which could have been afforded by a disjoint. I would have preferred if he had finger joint articulation. I would have preferred if he came with his weapons. I would have preferred if he had more armor to safeguard his body. His muscles accentuate his might. They denote that he has physical prowess. He looks like he's imbued with rage, and he's ready to terminate anyone within his proximity. If you're a valiant, noble hero, you may want to stay out of this character's vicinity. If he comes in contact with you, your life could be in peril. His skirt is flimsy, is comprised of rubber. He's a decent figurine. Let's see how he contrasts with the Marvel Select Juggernaut, just for a frame of reference. Bear with me one brief moment as I scour my bed for the Juggernaut. I'm placing my action figures on top of my bed because I ran out of room to place them on the shelves, which is unfortunate because I shouldn't live like a hoarder. I need to rectify the situation immediately. I will remedy the situation in the imminent future, but this exact second I need to finish this unboxing video. Hold on. Alrighty. Here's a Marvel Select Juggernaut making his cameo appearance in this video. He's making his debut. So, I would have presumed that the Juggernaut would have been taller, but it seems as though, oh, actually he is. They're not on an equal landscape. They're not on an equal level. in terms of their footing. This one was touted to be 8 inches tall by the seller. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Maybe this Juggernaut then is at least 9 inches tall. If I place them both on the table, I'm curious who's taller. The Juggernaut is still marginally taller than the Uruk-hai crossbowman. If these two engage in a battle, I wonder who will prevail. I would presume that the Juggernaut will unequivocally prevail in the endeavor to decimate his adversaries. This character is more nimble than the Juggernaut. Can he outrun him? I don't think so. He seems to have about the same amount of points of articulation as the Juggernaut. Actually, he seems to have slightly more. The Juggernaut cannot swivel his wrists. For $8.50, am I content with his purchase and decision, even though he lacks any of his corresponding weapons, and even though he lacks finger joint articulation, and even though his head cannot be ascended, and even though he has some scuffs? I am, because I'm an avid devout Lord of the Rings fan. He coincides well with the 6-inch action figure line. He's supposed to be taller than the average 6-inch action figure. The Uruk-hai are, well, they were once elves, but their values have been tainted and jaded. I believe they're corrupt elves. You could research the lore and learn about their births and their origins. They're sadistic, they're coercive, they're malicious. They seek to destroy, just like the Juggernaut. The heroes of Middle-earth seek to defend the feeble and thwart the allies of Sauron. He seeks to wreak havoc against anyone within his path. So, he's not a bad figurine if you're striving to build an army of Uruk-hai. If you have no interest in building an army of Uruk-hai, then you'll likely want to abstain from purchasing this figurine. However, if the Lord of the Rings films appease you, and if you love action figures produced by Toy Biz, then look no further than procuring an Uruk-hai crossbowman for under $10 if you can stumble upon one via eBay. I love the secondhand market. It gives you a chance to buy everything that is sold out in the retail stores. I detest the prices on the secondhand market. This figurine was rendered more unaffordable post being listed on eBay than he was amid being released into the retail stores. If you lived in a state that does not levy sales tax, then you may have stumbled upon this figurine new in the early 2000s for under $8. I'm unsure about its initial retail price. It also would have came with his weapons, but for $8.50, I have no major gripes about this purchase and decision. I mean, it is what it is. He also has peg holes in his feet, which is not bad. He's not an abysmal figurine by any means. He's sturdy, his joints are not flimsy. He has spikes protruding out of his handguards. I believe this is a handguard. He only has one. I thought he had two. Oh no, he actually has. Does he have two? He actually has two. Never mind. Spikes are protruding out of one of them. The other one is lacking spikes. I love this figurine's novelties. I love his seam lines. I just love everything about this figurine. He's aesthetically appealing to view. His teeth are clenched together. He has a menacing, intimidating look. He has no trepidation. He's a warrior. I love the Uruk-hai. They're just epic. I'm not content with what they stand for, but all fictitious fantasy movies need protagonists and antagonists to balance one another out. Without these confrontations, without these conflicts, the movie becomes more vapid. But there's a lot of tension in Middle-earth. What makes Lord of the Rings so epic is that there's constant battles between heroic characters and sadistic characters. They're perpetually engaged in combat until the end of the novel, which culminates in the One Ring being decimated and Middle-earth being safeguarded and a safe haven once more. Well, I'm not sure if it was ever initially deemed a safe haven, but post the advent of Sauron and his allies getting decimated, Middle-earth experienced tranquility and unprecedented peace. So, that's all I have to say. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.